Hey everybody. So last video we just broke down the LGBTQ and kind of went over some things there. Just want to reiterate, this is kind of for some older folks, or for anybody in general really. I just feel, I don't know, I'm really inspired a little bit from some people lately. I've been talking to some folks, and I do have a daughter that's gay, lesbian, and so we talked about the different letters, what they meant, and just want to go a little bit more in detail on this one here. Try to keep it sweet and short and sweet, whatever. Um, and today's kind of the point is to show that we can always get along and try to get understanding of what the LGBTQ community is about, and from older guys' perspective. Um, and so L obviously is L for lesbian, and they've been admittedly more acceptable than the gay, in my opinion. I could be wrong with some of this stuff, but just some of my personal feelings, but I speak for a lot of people I know anyway. Um, and we're going to get into a bit later on about the meshing and I think the dynamics of relationships of same sex. But we all know the L is for lesbian. Um, G is for the gay. Typically, this refers to the male sex becoming together with with another man. That's obvious. Gay used to mean happy in most situations, but now you can't really say gay if you're being happy. That just doesn't do it anymore. But they will accept the gay or definitely over the homosexual, because I think that's kind of a negative connotation in that. The B is the bisexual people. They don't have a preference typically over one or the other. Sometimes they do. They'll accept the other sex in certain situations. I guess it's more of a in process having sex type thing. But they can get along with both sexes and be intimate with both sexes, and there's not a problem there. This is not a person who's wishy-washy. It's just they can go both ways, and that's cool. We're not here to judge anybody of any of these letters and the initialism that is the community. Interesting one here is the trans or the transgender. This is a big one, and this is one that's hard for a lot of people. And I will say, for me, it was kind of I had to understand it. Why one person would be male, one would be female. But that's not here or there. It's not for me to judge or anybody really. It's the person who comes up and they discover at sometime in early age. I mean, you're hearing about kids that are in their less than 10 years old, realizing that they identify as the other sex. And in time, they may go to drastic measures and have a sexual reassignment surgery. It's dramatic, and there takes a lot of drugs and stuff like that. And of course, we talk about those people, and I'm not getting into it totally in this video about people going to the military and why we paying for the medicine and stuff like that. But it doesn't matter. The idea here is explained that the transgender, is just something we have to adapt to in this day and age. They just identify as the opposite sex. And it's cool, some people have those tendencies, and it sometimes looks so natural when they become, it's typically a male, from my experience, that they once they make that transition, they look like a chick. They probably should. They're only a chromosome away, right, from being a chick in the first place. So I think, anyway, I'm not a doctor or scientist, but that's what I think. Anyway, so we just have to move on and get past this thing. That's just, some people just are better at being the sex, and they're happier. They want to be that way. And it's difficult to come out and say that, but look at Bruce Jenner. Now he's Caitlyn Jenner. He was my high school hero in sports, man. He was on Wheaties box. He a great athlete and Olympian, but that's her preference. So we'll just move on. Another interesting letter here in the last one is the Q. I didn't make a very good Q, did I? Well, anyway. But the Q is for queer. And interesting letter about the thing about the Q. Um, yeah, queer means odd, right? Well, something different, and also means they're questioning. Some people could be questioning their sexuality. Am I a guy? Am I a girl? Who do I identify with? Am I trans? Am I bi? You have to do these things, and they're wrestling with this stuff. All these folks, at some point or another, they do wrestle with their sexuality and what they're going to identify as. And so we don't want to judge them. We just want to understand. And it's just about love, man. It's who you connect with. And it's nothing they force on anybody else. We have to let it go and let them be who they're going to be. Time will tell you that oddities in the sex genre, per se, for lack of better terminology, has been around for hundreds of years. People have been gay, they've been lesbian, they've been queer. I mean, in some way, shape, or form, a lot of us are queer to begin with. You know what I'm saying? We're all weird to somebody. It's all subjective in some things. So don't bash, don't judge, don't hate. People just are associated with one of these different letters, and then there's the pluses, and then the theys, and all that. It's a whole different thing in itself. But please don't judge. Let's just get along, and we can't discriminate, man. We've been at this for so long. If you don't know all these things, like I said before, push up on that rock, get out of the way with listening. And if you have a question about it, talk to somebody who's gay or trans or whoever. Learn from them. Talk to them about it. They'll be glad to tell you about it, man. They're proud. That's why they have their pride parades, because they're proud to be who they're going to be. So that's it. I'm going to get off my soapbox about that. Just know that this is not going away. None of this stuff's going away anytime soon. This is just the community has to be recognized, and that's my thoughts, man. If you're an older person, you say, man, I'm set in my ways, and this is the way it's going to be. And religion's telling me it shouldn't. This isn't right. It doesn't matter. We can't argue about religion and what's right, what's wrong. People are going to be, they're going to be just be themselves, be yourself. If you don't like it, well, that's just something you're going to have to swallow. But there's people, and they're all in this community, and they're in together, and they're getting stronger. All around the world, people are fighting for their rights, and they have a right. Everybody has the right to be who they're going to be. Just don't, obviously, like religion, don't push it upon everybody else, and they typically don't. They're not as bad as some of the religious fanatics out there, right? They're just people. They're attracted to who they're attracted to. Let it go. Let it be. Let them love, man. We're all just here to love, make a living, pay our bills, and go home. Hey, I'm Mike with Bevo's Pantry, man. Appreciate you listening in. And try to keep this short. Have any questions or comments, let me know. Like, subscribe, or don't. All right? Next video is going to be more fun. I got some good ones coming up. Stay tuned. We got some good stuff coming up. This is Mike Bevo's Pantry saying peace, stay safe, be good to each other out there.